What if you were to consider that the bond you share with your dog is not a simple story of ownership, but a chapter in a much greater journey? Imagine that this being of fur and boundless heart, the one who rests at your feet and greets you as if you are the sunrise, is more than a companion. This is a reflection on one of the most profound and quiet mysteries of life, an insight that could forever change how you perceive the presence of this soul in your home. It all begins not with a single person, but with a timeless wisdom that flows like a river through ages. Ancient wisdom teaches that every dog enters our lives with a specific purpose, a silent agreement made with our own spirit. They are guardians of our inner peace, living in the disguise of a simple animal. Their unwavering loyalty is not mere instinct, it is a sacred promise. They feel the currents of your emotions before you are even conscious of the storm or the calm within you. This connection is not physical, it's a resonance of energy, a bridge between worlds. Great teachers and observers of life have long spoken of these bonds, yet it is a truth we often feel in our hearts but struggle to explain with our minds. Have you ever paused to wonder why your path crossed with your dog at the precise moment it did? Why, out of a world of beings, your spirits chose one another? And why its unique nature, its curious habits, its comforting presence are exactly what they are? The laws of nature reveal there are no accidents in this sacred relationship. There is only a perfect unfolding, a spiritual purpose veiled in what we call unconditional love. And today, we are invited to gently pull back that veil. Prepare to see the truth that resides in your dog's eyes. Prepare to understand the profound reason they walk beside you on this path. Pause for a moment. Reflect on the story of how you first met. Perhaps you walked into a shelter with no intention, only to leave with a piece of your heart you didn't know was missing. Or maybe a lost soul simply appeared at your door, as if guided by an invisible map. You might have even resisted the idea for so long, until something deep inside you shifted, and you opened your door and your life. Do you truly see this as a chance happening? Ancient teachings offer a perspective that will transform this memory forever. You and your dog recognized each other, for your souls have journeyed together before. You share a connection that flows beyond the boundaries of a single lifetime, beyond space and even form itself. From a space of deep awareness, we find that before we walk this earth, our spirits often make gentle agreements with others. These are sacred contracts with souls who will become our family, our friends, and yes, our animal companions. Long before we dive into the extraordinary nature of our canine friends, we must understand that this knowledge doesn't come from a desire for fame or proof. It flows from a simple, profound observation of life, from a quiet space of knowing that has been a part of human wisdom for centuries. These insights have been shared by quiet observers of life's patterns, those who learn to listen to the whispers of the universe. For generations, these keepers of wisdom spoke of the consistency and purpose in the animal kingdom. They described how different beings hold different energies and serve different purposes on this earth. They explained the magnetic pull that draws certain animals to certain people. They saw how our animal companions serve as anchors, grounding us between the physical world and the world of spirit. But among all creatures, the teachings suggest that dogs hold a unique place in this tapestry of life. They are the only beings said to have made a conscious choice to walk alongside humanity. It was not simply a pact of domestication, but a profound spiritual alignment. Dogs, these teachings suggest, chose to weave their evolution with our own. They gently set aside a part of their wild spirit to become our companions on the journey of the soul. This is a sacred understanding that echoes through lifetimes. What makes these ancient insights so powerful is that they were spoken long before our modern science sought to understand animal behavior or the emotional bonds we share. These truths were understood in the heart, long before they were ever studied by the mind. Ancient wisdom explains that dogs possess an energetic sensitivity far greater than our own. They can perceive the subtle presence of energies, feel the shifts in a person's spirit, and even sense the currents of what is to come. A dog knows when its purpose with a person is complete, these teachings tell us. They also know when it is time to journey onward. This is not a moment of sorrow, but a moment of fulfillment, of a promise kept. These teachings often spoke of how dogs act as living mirrors for their companions. If a soul needs to understand true loyalty, a dog of unwavering devotion will enter its life. If a person must cultivate patience, they will be gifted a companion with a strong and stubborn will. If there are deep emotional wounds to be healed, a dog with a gentle and healing nature will appear. The most profound part is that this wisdom was shared with the same calm certainty used to explain the changing of the seasons. For in this perspective, there is no separation between healing the body and understanding the soul. It is all one interconnected, flowing reality. Today, long after these words were first spoken, their truth is felt in the lives of countless people across the globe. We hear stories of unspoken communication, of quiet protection, and of personal transformations that can only be explained by this deep, spiritual bond. The power of this wisdom doesn't come from a single voice, but from its echo in our own lived experiences, confirmed over generations. When we speak of the spiritual purpose of dogs, we are not speculating. We are touching a stream of direct knowledge that flows from a deeper dimension of reality. And that knowledge is about to completely change the way you see your four-legged companion. Pause for a moment and reflect again on your story. The visit to the shelter, the soul who appeared at your door, the inexplicable change of heart. Do you still believe it was a coincidence? A timeless truth is about to change your perspective. You and your dog already knew each other long before you met in this life. You share a connection that flows beyond time, space, and even the veil of death. In the great energetic dance of the universe, before we begin a new life, we often agree to the roles we will play for one another. These connections can be with family, with friends, and yes, with our animal companions. Canine souls choose their human families from a place of great wisdom. The old teachings say, they observe our spiritual needs from a different plane and prepare themselves to serve us in the exact way we require. This means your dog is not just an animal you found. It is a soul that accepted a sacred mission to aid in your journey of growth. It knows your quiet struggles, your deepest shadows, and your heart's desire for healing. It came to you with the precise personality to help you walk your path. Consider the unique character of your dog. If it is fiercely protective, perhaps you are being guided to learn about safety and trust. If it is full of play, maybe your spirit needs to rediscover joy and lightness of being. If it is calm and still, your soul may be asking for a deeper sense of peace and serenity. But the connection is far deeper than personality. It is said that many of our canine friends are the same souls who have journeyed with us in past lives. They return to continue the sacred work they began with us long ago. The recognition of a soul from a past journey is instantaneous. There's an immediate sense of belonging, a connection that doesn't need to be built because its foundation is ancient. Have you felt this? The feeling that you have known your dog for far longer than the calendar shows. That is not your imagination. That is the memory of your soul. The signs of a timeless connection are gentle but clear. Your dog might react to certain places as if with a distant memory. It may carry fears or joys that have no root in its current life. It may possess a wisdom or a certain skill that seems innate, an echo from another time. It has also been said that some of these companions are ancient souls who chose an animal form to serve specific people. These are the special ones, the ones with human-like wisdom in their eyes, who show a compassion that feels ancient, and who sometimes carry themselves with an almost human grace. These souls make a profound sacrifice. They set aside a human journey to serve as silent guardians. It is an act of pure love that we can barely comprehend. This may explain why some dogs seem to understand our complex thoughts, why they show such profound empathy, why they sometimes appear to be teaching us a quiet lesson through their simple existence. The timing of their arrival is also never an accident. Your dog comes into your life at the precise moment you need them. It may be during a period of struggle, when you stand at the threshold of a great change, or when you are about to face a challenge that requires the unique support only they can offer. The ancient teachings describe this perfect timing as part of the beautiful order that flows through our lives. Nothing is left to chance. Every meeting has a purpose. Every bond has meaning. Every relationship is a spiritual assignment. And the purpose of dogs in our lives is one of the most sacred. They come to remind us of unconditional love, loyalty, forgiveness, the joy of the present moment, and total acceptance. But they also come to hold a space of energetic protection for us, to help us heal old wounds, and to prepare us for the next steps on our spiritual path. When you look at your dog now, you are not just seeing an animal. You are seeing a spiritual being who chose its own path to help accelerate yours. You are seeing a courageous soul who accepted the mission to stand with you in light and shadow, in joy and sorrow. Why does your dog sometimes seem to be protecting you from something you cannot perceive? Why does it become restless in certain places? Why does it appear to sense things long before you become aware of them? The answer is far deeper than instinct. They are silent guardians of your spirit, disguised as our best friends. While we as humans have allowed much of our natural intuition to fall quiet over time, dogs have kept this profound ability intact. They can see, feel, and perceive dimensions of reality that our rational minds have learned to ignore, and they use this awareness to protect us in ways we can barely fathom. Dogs serve as sentinels of the spirit, ancient wisdom explains. They can detect dense energies, disruptive presences, and even subtle energetic shifts directed towards their human companions. This means that when your dog barks at a quiet corner of the room, it is not barking at nothing. It is alerting you to a presence in that space that you cannot see. A dog's ability to perceive beyond the physical veil is why they have been held as sacred beings in so many ancient traditions. But the protection they offer is far more than an alarm. They act as living shields of energy, absorbing negativity directed at their people and transmuting those dense energies within their own radiant field. A dog can absorb a significant amount of the discordant energy meant for its human companion. Ancient teachings suggest they do this consciously, as part of their sacred purpose. It is a service offered from a place of pure love. This insight helps us understand why some dogs develop illnesses that seem to mirror the emotional or physical challenges of their owners. They are not merely becoming sick, they are literally taking on and processing heavy energies to shield their families. 3 levels of spiritual protection have been observed. The first is guarding the physical space. Every dog creates a field of protective energy around its home. They can sense when someone with disruptive intentions is approaching, long before they arrive. This is why many dogs will bark or growl when certain people draw near. The second is sensing subtle influences. Dogs can perceive and interact with energies and spirits that exist in dimensions close to our own. They act as a natural barrier, preventing negative spiritual influences from affecting their human family. The third is advanced spiritual shielding. Some dogs, particularly those with a deep spiritual bond to their people, can intercept consciously directed negative energy. They absorb these energies and transform them before they can find their target. What makes this protection so extraordinary is that it is freely given. Dogs are not compelled to play this role. They choose it out of love. It is part of the spiritual agreement they honor. Their loyalty is not just instinct, ancient wisdom explains. It is spiritual commitment. They promise to protect and serve, and they hold that promise until their final breath. This dedication explains behaviors we often misinterpret. When your dog seems to dislike a certain person, it's not being difficult. It is sensing something in that person's energy that feels out of harmony with your own. When it insists on sleeping near you, it's not being needy. It is extending its field of energetic protection over you during your most vulnerable state, sleep. During sleep, our energy fields are more open. Dogs know this intuitively and stand as vigilant guardians through the night. This is why many report their dogs become more watchful after dark, even with no obvious physical threat. It has also been observed that dogs can sense disruptive events before they unfold. They perceive shifts in the energetic field that precede accidents, illnesses, or major life changes. This is why they may suddenly act strangely, as if trying to warn us of something we cannot yet see. They perceive future probabilities through the currents of present energy. An agitated dog may be trying to alert you to something that has not yet happened, but is already taking form in the energetic world. This ability to anticipate is one of the most profound forms of protection they offer. They don't just react to present danger, they prepare us for what lies ahead. Now that you understand your dog is a spiritual guardian, it is time to learn the language of the signs it constantly sends you. Every seemingly odd or inexplicable behavior has a deeper message. Your dog is communicating with you about realities you may not perceive on your own. Let us begin with the most common and misunderstood behavior: barking at empty spaces. When your dog barks at a corner of the room where nothing is visible, it is literally perceiving something you cannot. Ancient wisdom explains that dogs can perceive spiritual presences, fields of residual energy, and even imprints left by powerful past events. Every environment holds energetic memories, the old teachings say. Dogs can read these memories as if they were written in the air. They bark to alert and clear energies that could negatively affect their human companions. If your dog consistently barks at the same spot, be mindful. A traumatic event may have occurred there long ago. It could be a point where stagnant energy collects, or a spiritual presence may be seeking to make itself known. The sound of the bark also holds meaning. Short, insistent barks often signal an alert to something physical. Long, deep barks may indicate negative spiritual energies. Sharp, rapid barks are often warnings of imminent change or danger. Another common mystical behavior is the refusal to enter certain spaces. If your dog consistently avoids a specific room or becomes restless in a certain area, it is sensing something that requires your awareness. Dogs are like living detectors of energy. They immediately feel when a space is heavy with negativity or when there are energies present that do not belong. If your dog refuses to enter a space, honor that intuition. You can bring a sense of cleansing to the area, light a candle, burn some purifying herbs, or simply offer a prayer for protection and light. Have you noticed your dog sometimes staring intently at something you cannot see? It might remain still for minutes, gazing at a single point with focused concentration, as if observing something of great interest. When this happens, your dog is likely observing a spiritual presence. It could be a guiding spirit, a loved one who has passed, or simply a flow of energy moving through the space. Its reaction is what matters. If it is calm and curious, the presence is benevolent. If it becomes tense or wary, the energy may need to be cleared. Moments when your dog approaches you for no clear reason and insists on being near also have special meaning. It is said that dogs can feel when our own energy is out of balance or when we are under subtle psychic stress. They draw near to offer immediate protection. Their physical presence strengthens our auric field and helps us repel negative influences. The next time your dog comes to you insistently, stop and notice how you are feeling. Were you worried, anxious, or dwelling on negative thoughts? Your dog sensed you needed energetic support. Overprotective behaviors are also important signs. If your dog suddenly starts following you everywhere, resting at your door, or becoming more wary of strangers, it may be sensing a period of spiritual vulnerability for you. This often happens during times of great change, emotional stress, or when we are making pivotal life decisions. Our energy becomes more open, and our dogs automatically increase their protective field around us. Even food can be a spiritual indicator. Dogs that suddenly stop eating may be absorbing dense energies from their environment or from their human companions. They literally lose their appetite when they are engaged in heavy energetic work to protect their families. The teachings suggest that when a dog refuses food without a medical cause, we should look inward at what is happening emotionally within the home. Are there conflicts or heavy emotions that need to be cleansed? Sleep patterns are also revealing. Dogs that sleep far more than usual may be processing the negative energies they have absorbed. During sleep, they transmute these energies and purify their own fields. On the other hand, dogs that are restless at night, that cannot seem to settle, may be detecting intense spiritual activity in the environment. They are standing watch to protect the family during a period of greater vulnerability. The most touching behavior described in ancient teachings is when a dog begins to show an abundance of affection for no apparent reason. They become more loving, seek more physical contact, and want to be closer than ever. They do this when they sense their mission with that person is drawing to a close. It's as if they know their time together is limited, and they wish to express the fullness of their love in every remaining moment. This wisdom brings with it a beautiful responsibility to pay attention to the silent language of our canine companions, and the communication between you is only just beginning to deepen. Ancient wisdom discovered that dogs not only protect us, but also function as perfect mirrors of our own souls. Every habit, every behavior, every challenge your dog presents is reflecting something very specific about your own inner journey. Dogs are direct reflections of their human companion's inner state. They outwardly manifest what we need to see in ourselves, but often cannot. This means your dog is like an open book about your own spirit. Its strengths, its struggles, its fears, and its needs for healing are all being reflected through its personality and actions. Let's begin with an example that may invite you to rethink everything. Dogs that show aggression rarely belong to people who are openly aggressive. In fact, they often belong to people who repress their own anger or frustration. The dog is expressing the powerful energy that its human companion will not. If you have a territorial dog, pause and ask yourself, where in my life do I feel my space is being invaded? Where do I need to create clearer boundaries? Where am I failing to protect my own emotional energy? It is said that dogs come into our lives already embodying the exact personality required to teach us about our blind spots. Let's explore the most common mirrors they hold up for us. Anxious dogs. If your dog carries anxiety, it is likely that you also struggle with an anxious mind, even if you hide it well. Anxious dogs appear for people who need to learn how to be present, to trust the flow of life, and to release the need for control. They compel us to cultivate patience and to soothe our own inner storm. Fearful dogs. A dog that is afraid of everything mirrors our own unacknowledged fears. They show us how fear can paralyze us and prevent us from living with an open heart. By helping our companion move through fear, we learn to face our own. Stubborn dogs. If your dog has a stubborn streak, it is reflecting your own resistance to change. These dogs often appear for people who need to learn flexibility and surrender. They teach us that we cannot always control the currents of life. Needy dogs, dogs that constantly seek attention, can mirror our own emotional insecurities. They show us how our own need for validation can be overwhelming. By learning to provide a calm and steady presence for them, we learn to provide that for ourselves. Independent dogs. A fiercely independent dog often belongs to a person who finds it difficult to form deep emotional bonds. They teach us about the delicate balance between freedom and connection. But the most powerful mirror is how a dog's physical challenges can reflect its owner's emotional state. Ancient wisdom speaks directly to this connection. Digestive issues. Dogs with digestive troubles often belong to people who have difficulty digesting situations in their own lives. They are absorbing and processing energies their companions cannot handle emotionally. Skin problems. A dog with skin issues may be reflecting its owner's challenges with self-image. The skin is our boundary to the world. These problems in a dog often mirror a person's difficulties with feeling exposed and vulnerable. Respiratory problems. A dog that struggles to breathe may be reflecting its owner's feeling of being suffocated or oppressed in life. A lack of freedom. to simply be. Heart problems, perhaps the most moving of all. Dogs that develop heart conditions often belong to people with wounded or closed hearts. They are, in a sense, literally taking on the heart touch of their beloved human. Dogs take on these burdens as an act of spiritual service. The teachings explain they would rather carry a physical ailment than see their human companions suffer emotionally. This brings a profound responsibility. When our dog is unwell, we must also look within and ask what part of our own life needs healing. Often, as we begin to heal ourselves emotionally, our dogs experience a mysterious recovery. But the mirror also works in a positive way. A joyful, balanced dog reflects a human who is in harmony with themselves. An affectionate and social dog mirrors a person who is open to giving and receiving love. Your dog's personality also reveals your own dormant gifts. If your dog is deeply intuitive, you likely have intuitive abilities you are not yet using. If it is very protective, you may have a natural gift for nurturing and guarding others. Ancient wisdom taught that we can accelerate our own growth by consciously observing the mirrors our dogs show us. Instead of judging their behavior, we can ask, what is this trying to teach me about myself? When we begin to see our dogs as mirrors of our soul, the entire relationship transforms. We no longer see their behaviors as problems to be solved, but as lessons to be embraced. Have you ever felt that your dog was reading your mind? The communication between us does not depend on words. It happens through waves of intention, through mental images, and through a direct transmission of energy between two conscious hearts. Dogs are natural masters of this silent language because they never forgot it. While humans developed verbal language and allowed our more subtle senses to go quiet, dogs kept this pure form of connection alive. They not only receive our thoughts and emotions, but they are constantly sending us information in return. The challenge is that most of us have not learned to quiet our own minds enough to listen. Let's start with examples you have surely experienced. The thought of food brings your dog to the kitchen. You were in another room, completely still, but you merely thought about feeding your dog. Moments later, they appear. They heard no sound, they felt your intention. Shared sorrow, you felt a wave of sadness, but showed no outward sign. Yet, your dog came to you, rested its head on your lap, offering comfort. It felt the shift in your emotional energy before it became an action. Anticipating your returns, your dog becomes restless and waits by the door minutes before you arrive home, even if your schedule is never the same. It is feeling your intention to return home long before your car is in the driveway. This communication happens through what might be called a shared field of consciousness. When you form a deep bond with your dog, you create a shared mental and energetic space where thoughts, feelings, and intentions flow freely between you. This is not magic. This is spiritual physics. Consciousness operates on a frequency. When two consciousnesses are tuned to the same frequency of love and connection, communication beyond words becomes effortless. But you can cultivate this communication with intention. Here are some ancient techniques. First, communication through mental pictures. Sit quietly near your dog. Close your eyes and create a clear image of what you wish to communicate. If you want it to come to you, visualize it walking peacefully to your side. If you want it to be calm, visualize it resting in a state of perfect peace. Hold this image gently but clearly, as if you are sending a photograph from your mind to its mind. Do not force it. Simply project the image with calm intention. Second, the transmission of emotion. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to our emotional states. You can communicate through feeling. If you desire calm, first cultivate a deep sense of peace within yourself. If you need your dog to be alert, generate a feeling of focused awareness in your own body. The key is to genuinely feel the emotion, not just to think about it. Dogs feel what you feel, not what you think you are feeling. Third, communication through the eyes. Look gently into your dog's eyes. This is not an intimidating stare, but a soft gaze filled with love and clear intention. While holding this gentle contact, mentally project your message. Direct eye contact creates a powerful bridge between two souls. This is why you can have an entire conversation with your dog with just a single look. Fourth, ask a mental question and observe the response. You can ask your dog questions in your mind and watch how it responds with its body, its energy, or its expression. Mentally ask, "Are you well?" and observe its reaction. Ask, "Would you like to walk in nature?" and see the shift in its posture. The response might be a movement, a subtle change in its energy, or even an image that appears in your own mind. Trust the first impression you receive, but this silent communication goes far beyond simple requests. It's said that dogs often try to send us important information about our own well-being, our path forward, and our spiritual balance. They may offer health warnings. Dogs can sense illness before symptoms manifest. If your dog persistently sniffs or licks a specific area of your body, be mindful. It may be alerting you to an imbalance that requires your attention. They may offer warnings about people. When your dog shows a strong and inexplicable aversion to someone, it is receiving energetic information about that person that you cannot perceive. Trust its intuition. They may sense future events. Dogs can feel the energetic shifts that precede major events. If your dog is behaving strangely for no clear reason, it may be sensing that a significant change is about to unfold in your life. The most profound insight the ancient teachings offer about our canine friends is their role as spiritual healers. Dogs are divine instruments of healing. They can help us absorb trauma, dissolve energetic blocks, and restore emotional balance. This is one of their most sacred missions. If you have walked through a dark time in your life and felt your dog's presence as an inexplicable comfort, you have experienced this healing. It was not just companionship. It was a literal transmission of healing energy through your bond of love. Dogs possess a natural ability to absorb negative energy without being permanently harmed by it. They act like conscious sponges for our energy, soaking up our emotional density and helping to transform it back into light. Let's understand how this healing unfolds. First, the absorption of emotional trauma. When you experience deep pain, grief, separation, struggle, your dog immediately detects the imbalance in your energy field. It will draw close, and through physical contact or simple proximity, it will begin to absorb the dense energy of that trauma. Have you noticed how your dog stays closer when you are sad? How it seems to want more contact, to be right beside you? It is not just offering comfort. It is literally helping to pull the energetic pain from your system. Second, energetic transmutation. After absorbing the negative energy, dogs process it through their own energy fields. It is said they have a natural ability to transform density back into light. It's as if they are spiritual alchemists, turning emotional lead into spiritual gold. Third, the return of healed energy. After processing the negativity, dogs return purified and balanced energy to their human companions. This happens through their affection, their calm presence, and even a loving gaze. This is why you feel better after spending quiet time with your dog. You have received a literal transfer of healed energy. This is not a beautiful idea. It is a real energetic process that you can feel in your heart. Many people report that after walking through difficult times, their dog's constant presence was essential to their healing process, allowing them to feel better day by day. There are different types of healing that dogs naturally offer. Healing for anxiety. Dogs are powerful healers of anxiety because their energy is rooted in the present moment. They do not worry about tomorrow or dwell on yesterday. Being near them naturally calms our nervous system and brings us back to the now. Healing for depression. The life force of a dog is a natural antidote to the heaviness of depression. They radiate pure joy and enthusiasm for life and unconditional love. This bright energy gradually dissolves the emotional density that surrounds a person in sorrow. Healing from trauma. Dogs offer a unique space for trauma healing because they provide absolute emotional safety. They do not judge or abandon. Their unconditional presence creates a safe haven where old wounds can finally surface and be healed. Healing for loneliness. The deep bond we form with a dog heals the wounds of loneliness and abandonment. They teach us that we are worthy of unwavering love and that we are never truly alone. This healing process is even more potent during sleep. When we sleep near our dogs, a deep energetic synchronization occurs. Our energy fields align, and healing takes place at the subtlest levels of our being. During sleep, the barriers of the conscious mind are down. That is when the deepest healing can occur. A dog sleeping near its companion is actively working to soothe the wounds of the soul. This is why many of us feel an instinctual need to sleep with our dogs. It is not just for physical comfort. It is a soul, deep need for energetic healing and protection. But the healing dogs offer goes beyond the emotional. Their presence can also stimulate physical healing. The vibration of a dog's calm, breathing and heartbeat has a healing frequency. These vibrations can stimulate cellular repair in their human companions. The body heat from a dog is not merely physical, it is energetic. When a dog rests on a painful part of our body, it is offering a healing warmth that can ease discomfort and accelerate recovery. Dogs also intuitively know where to apply gentle pressure. When they rest upon us or press with their paws, they are often stimulating energy meridians and activating points of healing in the body. Ancient teachings even suggest that different types of dogs carry different healing energies. Large dogs often specialize in healing deep traumas and feelings of insecurity. Smaller dogs are wonderful for healing anxiety and issues of self-worth. Calm dogs are ideal for healing stress. Energetic and playful dogs are perfect for healing the spirit from depression and a lack of motivation. The most extraordinary part is that dogs offer this healing consciously. They know what they are doing. They deliberately choose to absorb our pain to help us. Gentle energy clearing, time in nature, joyful play, and immense affection are how we help our dogs release the dense energies they have absorbed from us. It is our way of giving back for the profound healing they constantly provide. When we understand that our dogs are spiritual healers, our gratitude for them becomes boundless. They are not just our pets, they are four-legged angels, devoted to our healing and our growth. And this healing is only the beginning of the transformation they bring to our lives.